I'd like you all just to stand up quickly and turn to someone next to you and tell them someone you know that's wealthy. So just stand up quickly, turn to someone next to you, and tell them someone that you know that is wealthy.
Someone who's wealthy. Yeah, probably.
So guys, we believe that there's 3 things that you need to do to become wealthy through a token sale, an ICO, or a coin. The first one, and the most important one, is that it needs to be based on an existing business that knows how to make money. When we look at it, it reminds me of a story. Back in 2009, I was in Sydney, and I met 2 US dollar billionaires, and they were buying medical buildings. Now, at the time, I'd built a business. I'd helped 2,500 people invest in houses and apartments on 4 different continents. What was interesting to me was, why medical? And they literally said to me, well, think about it. No matter what happens to doctors, in the world economy, people need doctors. Secondly, doctors never leave their premises. And thirdly, doctors are very good at being doctors, but they're not accountants, and so they sign very good long-term favorable leases. And I thought to myself, that's an absolute no-brainer. How can I participate? That's where the catch came in. The minimum investment was 5 million Australian dollars. That's what we call financial exclusion. Basically, it sums up the real estate industry that is broken. There's 16 different middlemen between an investor and an investment. There's high fees, there's low trust, low transparency, and very little alignment. We decided to change that. We decided to allow investors globally to get access to the best opportunities anywhere in the world. We decided to answer a simple question: how can we make global real estate investing easy? Most people, when they think of real estate, think of management, maintenance, broken toilets. And that's just if it's local investing. If it's international investing, it's tax, structures, compliance, bank accounts. We took that all away, and through the platform, investors can now invest in a couple of minutes and ultimately just focus on the best returns. There's 4 simple steps. They sign up in a compliant way, they choose the investment they want, they transact online, and they manage their entire global portfolio in one place. Whether it's America, England, Australia, or even South Africa, they no longer need to choose. There's plenty of platforms out there around the world, but what's interesting is when I landed in Zurich, I caught an Uber here. I don't want to have a different app in every single country I go to. We decided to build the global solution, and you can see where we're based around the world. We've got our secret sauce is our GID system, our global investment due diligence system. It helps people know where to invest, when to invest, who to invest, how to invest, and also the timing, and it's all built on the blockchain. There's clearly a demand for it. We've got members from 107 countries around the world. We've got investors from 46 countries. We've had $65 million go through the platform. We've won a number of awards, and something we're proudest of is that we've got a higher than 70% reinvestment rate. And then in terms of the revenue, last year we posted $1.1 million, and this year we're on track for north of $2 million. The second thing in being successful is looking for an existing team that can execute no matter what the market conditions. We've really endeavored to build a comprehensive both board and leadership team. This gentleman here, Justin Clark, has built marketplaces in 18 different countries. Paul Nadera is one of the world experts. I mean, literally, when the SEC wanted to talk compliance, they flew Paul Nadera in. David Orban did a presentation yesterday, Richard Titus and Michael Turpin, all on the blockchain side, and those 2 US dollar billionaires ensuring that we have good quality real estate. In terms of the demand, we're growing by 63.9% per month in terms of our members, and how we actually make money is when we do transactions, and that's growing by 0.5% per day or 16% per week. And then you look at the deals. At the end of the day, you still have to have quality curation. This project here was a $16 million deal. We've owned it for 3 years, and our investors have been paid out 10% cash on cash for the last 3 years. This one here is 11.22%, 8.49%, 8.29%. And if anyone in the room has enjoyed the run in Bitcoin for the last 12 months, maybe it's time to take some of the chips off the table, because you can invest in global real estate using Bitcoin. The third thing, which ultimately is going to determine whether or not you become wealthy through your token or through your coin, is going to be based on supply and demand. Is there a demand in the market? Because that is ultimately going to determine the price and the growth. So it's interesting, we're standing here in Davos. Every single year, the World Economic Forum gets together, and every single year they say the greatest challenge is the wealth gap or income inequality. What's interesting is that 49% of the world's wealth is held in real estate, and yet only 12.9% of the world's population has access to real estate. Of that 12.9%, every single one of you in this room, less than 1% of you, statistically, is going to retire wealthy at the age of 65. We wanted to change that. We built the WealthE coin to enable people, to enable the 99% to invest like the top 1%. Our vision is to make investing as simple as a swipe of a finger and to get investing down to $1 per person per investment. Now, will that change people's lives? Not necessarily. But if you change their habits, you'll change their financial destiny. And if we change their financial destiny, we'll solve the greatest challenge on the planet. Where do we focus? You know, a lot of blockchain companies are super excited. They want to change the world. But where's the real demand? The demand is in the emerging economies. We look for countries with large populations, urbanization, and internet adoption. If you take those three metrics, in just China, India, and Africa, 1.2 billion people are going to be joining the middle class over the next 10 years. When you look at the capital flows around the world, billions of dollars are leaving the emerging world to go into the first world in real estate. We're not interested in that. That's still the top 1% of the top 1%. We're interested in the hundreds of millions of middle-class people that want access to the same opportunities. And that is why we built the WealthE coin. Most people know what Bitcoin is. How many people could comprehensively tell you what the value is based upon? Every single person on the planet understands the value of real estate. Whether you're a rice farmer in China, a goat herder in Africa, or a rickshaw driver in India, you understand the value of real estate. Whether or not you've invested in it or have access to it or not is a separate equation. Our token, we are launching 1 billion tokens. Can anyone tell me why 1 billion? You said it earlier. Our purpose is to empower 1 billion people. 20% of that is a utility token, 80% of that is a store of wealth. So ultimately, you have a cryptocurrency based on real estate, based on an asset that every single person understands. In terms of the 20% utility, it completely unlocks the ecosystem. There's 5 components to it. 1 is investment. 2 is due diligence. 3 is education. 4 is community engagement. And 5 is purpose. I want to just explain to you the education part. If you look at online education, there's been massive adoption. But when you look at online investing, there's been large growth, but very little adoption to date. We believe that through blockchain, you can not only solve the problem of trust, but through game theory and gamification, you can ultimately help people learn while doing. So we've literally built an entire game theory to enable people, to welcome them into the world of wealth, to teach them, and ultimately they will be incentivized and they will learn while doing through the process. It ultimately unlocks the entire ecosystem. Wealth Migrate is the existing platform, but with the WealthE exchange, we can plug into every crowdfunding site, Proppy, Real, private equity, REITs, and ultimately, you've got the WealthE coin that is the catalyst that unlocks the entire ecosystem. We're currently going through a pre-sale. We're then going to the pre-sale at the end of this month, and you'll see that we're going to a crowd sale on the 15th of December. That's the day that the Bill of Rights was signed into the Constitution in America. We believe that it is time to democratize wealth and truly give everyone access to the same opportunities. Peter Diamandis says, the greatest challenges on the planet are equally the greatest opportunities. Standing in this very room here in Davos, the greatest challenge that we have on this planet is the wealth gap. And I want to leave you with one thought. That is my wife and son, and at a very young age, he is learning that to own greenhouses and red hotels and earn a passive income is what we call smart investing. His father, with an incredible team, has built up a diversified portfolio of residential and commercial properties across 4 continents, investing sometimes as little as $100 with those 2 billionaires. It's what we call smart investing. The wealthiest people in the world, they generate and build generational wealth. It's what we call smart investing. And ultimately, we want to put smart investing in every single person's pocket. And we believe that the WealthE coin is the catalyst, it is the solution, it is the answer to what Davos and the World Economic Forum is consistently answering. How can we solve the wealth gap and empower the 99% in the same way that the top 1% invest? Thank you.